Welcome, listeners, to episode 71 of Cocktail Hour. I'm Andy.
I'm Rev.
And we are just happy and pleased as punch to have all kinds of announcements today and drinks, because I feel like a drunken fish and fool. No, not really. But I'm getting there. Let's put it that. But yeah. So also, should we tell them now? Yeah, let's tell them now. We have WarriorJudge on the line, but she's holding because, we have to get rid of all of our announcements first. But we're very excited she's on the show. And we have a lurker.
Our standard lurker. Our usual lurker.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's not going to say anything.
Nah,
hey, unlurk and say hi.
Dude, take your shit off mute and say hi.
Oh, she must have gone to the bathroom. Whoop, there she is.
Howdy, y'all.
That was fantastic.
All right, that's our wonderful lurker, Nancy Jean.
Yay! All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
And we decided we wanted to try a Bloody Ceasar today. As the cocktail.
Do you want to tell
Yep.
Our listeners why?
Oh, because we are going to be reviewing WarriorJudge's first story in her Conqueror trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
And so we thought, what could go along with, the blood and the gore? Ooh, a Bloody Ceasar. So we picked that.
So there
one.
we go.
Yep. So
and it's kind of funny because you had sent me that link, and I had found that drink a few months ago and just saved it on my phone from the exact same website and everything. So I thought that was it was kismet. It was supposed to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you out in listening land, it's 1 ounce vodka, salt, celery salt. Of course, I didn't use both salts. Pepper, Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco sauce, and Clamato juice. And what you do is you rim a tall glass. You rim a tall glass with celery salt. You fill with ice, and then you add your ingredients to it. You garnish with a celery stick, a straw, and a lime. I use 2 ounces of vodka because
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, because I looked at it when I got my big old tall glass. I got the ice in it. I put the 1 ounce. I measured out 1 ounce, and I put it in there. I'm like, Jesus, am I even going to taste that?
Yeah.
So I put another ounce in it. And
I
honestly,
did 2 ounces of vodka, and then I bought the little 5.5 ounce cans of Clamato because I was pretty sure I wouldn't drink a big thing of Clamato juice.
Right.
So I did 2 of those. I didn't do the 2 salts either, just the celery salt.
Me
and
too.
Instead of a celery stick, I've got some pickled Brussels sprouts because I love those.
Pickled Brussels sprouts.
They're so good in Bloody Marys.
Oh, really? I've never had one.
Yep, that's how my grandpa used to make them. And I love my grandpa.
Oh. It tastes actually very similar to a Bloody Mary, but better. I actually like it better.
It's got I kind of like the clam juice in there. It's subtle.
It is. It's very subtle, and I've never rimmed my glass with anything. And
I hadn't either. That's a nice taste, though.
The celery salt is so complimentary.
Good pick. Good pick. Slow down.
I only made one.
Oh, all right.
So I can drink it all right now. Don't matter. I only made one.
All right then.
I was too afraid to make more than one. And before I start slurring, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/cocktailhour. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Yes. You should go get that.
Go get that.
Go get that. You get a free audiobook download. I was trying to find that new book that J.K. Rowling did.
Oh, really?
And I can't remember the name of it.
You just look up under J.K. Rowling.
The Cuckoo's Calling.
The Cuckoo's Calling.
Yeah, she it's written. She wrote it under the name Robert Galbraith, and then everybody found out that it was actually her writing the book.
Oh.
And a friend of mine was reading it and really enjoying it, so I went over to Audible on Thursday or Friday, and and used one of my credits. So I haven't finished Orange is the New Black just yet. I've been super busy, but as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to start on The Cuckoo's Calling, and then start Game of Thrones book 4.
I got you. Well,
yes.
I it's funny you should say Orange is the New Black. It's got flashbacks and prison.
I know,
so,
but are you enjoying it?
Yes, and my butt puckers and my eyes roll when I get a flashback, but so far it's not super over the top harsh, and that's okay. I'm up to episode 8.
I think that's where I am too. I don't think it's going to get harsh. I mean, it's a minimum security prison. I mean, it's not Oz.
Right? Yeah. So So I mean, so far it's been enjoyable. I think Piper's boyfriend's a schmo. I can't stand the damn opening credits. I don't like how they do the opening credits in the song. I just
It's not one of Regina Spektor's best.
Oh, okay.
All right, but that's a different subject.
Well, no, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Kind of, sort of, because I was getting ready to launch into a bunch of other stuff about the flashbacky things, but we shouldn't do that.
All
we should
right,
stay focused, because we have people waiting.
We have people waiting, but they love us, so it's all right.
Yeah. So, do you want to do the giveaway stuff?
Oh, we could do the giveaway stuff. Let's do the giveaway stuff.
Okay.
All right.
So we have 3 different giveaways to announce winners for, and each of them gave away 3 copies of stuff. So that's kind of nice. We have 9 things to give away today.
Holy shit! Thanks.
Yeah. So Isabella, when she came on to talk about the Left Coast Lesbian Conference, she put up 3 of any of her books. So we have winners. The winners for that are Vera, Allison, and Dutch.
Nice.
So I will send Isabella your email stuff, and you'll be hearing from her. Then we had Chris Painter, who offered up 3 copies of any of her books. And Susan Carr, Carry the Gooch.
Carry the Gooch?
Carry the Gooch.
That's fantastic.
And Amber Stewart.
Oh, sweet.
I don't think she's won anything before, so congratulations.
So. Congrats to everybody, yeah.
And then we had Lynette May come on,
right.
who offered up 3 copies of either of her books or any of Isabella's books. But I hope you'll get one of Lynette's. So Lisa T., LJ, and Lucky Allison again.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic!
Yes. So congratulations to all of our wonderful winners.
Absolutely, wow. That's like the trifecta.
It is. It's super awesome.
And stay tuned, because at the end of the show, we're going to announce a giveaway. I thought I was going to give away more, but I decided, you know what? Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, you'd have to wait.
That's right. You got to wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, and yes, Nancy Jean, I did say clam juice. It is clamato, clam and tomato.
But not the bearded clam, thank Christ.
Not the bearded clam, but it could be. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. What is it?
She got a hair.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
Oh, and I'm going to put you on the spot here real quick, Rev.
Uh-oh.
When will we be announcing the winners of the bearded clam contest?
Oh yeah, I heard you talking about that with Joe Bell, and I'm yelling into my cubicle, September 15th. the judges have Nancy Jean says rimming and clam juice. It's going to be that kind of podcast. Yes, it is. The judges have until September 15th to get me their results. So the show after September 15th, whatever that is.
All right, good. Okay.
I should have thought that out better and had it announced on. Well, I think everybody's going to be done well before September 15th. So if they're all done, we could announce the winners on our anniversary show.
Oh yeah, that'd be actually a pretty sweet time to do it.
That would be. It'd be awesome. I'm pretty sure they're all going to be done. We only had 3 entries, and I have a feeling that they're all 3 really good, and they're just going to whiz right through them. So. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the official date is September 15th, but we're going to shoot for a couple weeks earlier. Okay?
Right. Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome.
And WarriorJudge has just been so kind and just hanging back there listening to us and going on and on and on. But now it's your time to shine, Dee. So, thank you for waiting, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I am.
Don't be nervous. We'll throw Nancy Jean under the bus. Kidding, just kidding.
What was that?
I said, we'll just throw Nancy Jean under the bus.
Yeah, it's all, any problems we have with the story are all 100% Nancy Jean's fault. So don't worry about a thing. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And we do have a call, a long call with multiple questions.
Oh, sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. That kind of stunned me. Okay. So what we did was we read the first book, which is Lord Conqueror of the Lord Conqueror of the Realm and the Conqueror trilogy. And Dee said that she would provide us with a brief show summary, a brief story summary. So take it away, Dee.
Okay. Well, it's basically a spin of fan fiction from the Conqueror genre. You have the Conqueror, of course, which is me, not?
Yep.
And she buys Gabby as a slave, a body slave. And, well, things get really raunchy and violent. But, well, she falls in love with her, as the story goes. And, in my story, I tried, well, because of the differences of their stations in society, and the roles that they each played in each other's life, I knew that there were certain things that couldn't have happened, like a regular, normal conversation. So the relationship between them had to evolve through, it was forced on them by outside events. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to lead off with a question, if you don't mind, Rep.
Yep.
No, go ahead.
Okay. My first question is, had you read other Conqueror stories before you decided to write yours?
Yes, I have. I've read, I think the first one I've read was T.J. Wales.
Okay.
Right, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I read also the Dark Angel,
Mm-hmm.
Castle and the Throne, which was excellent. And also Dave's Remunerations, and L.J. Masses, of course, and some other.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you up next, or do you want me to keep going?
I'm sorry. Did you want to say something else, Dee?
No.
Okay. So, I kind of Andy and I were talking about it, and what we really wanted to know was what was your intent in writing something so different from all the other Conquerors that most people have read. Your Conqueror is very different. The relationship that she has with Gabrielle is very different. So what inspired you to go in such a different direction?
I think that this specific my story was inspired by Dark Angel's story, and I really felt for the characters in her story because she was very unforgiving. It was very difficult. Like, she didn't cut them some slack, So I had to write mine in order to bring them to this place that they can actually talk about how they feel, which never happens in her stories. So it was kind of so it's not that different in the sense that there were other Conqueror stories which didn't follow the mainstream, that genre. I think that what I wanted to do is portray the characters more realistically, in the sense that a person who is strong enough and determined enough and violent enough to butcher millions of people, or I don't know, thousands of people, in order to obtain power, cannot be, in my opinion, a fluffy kind of person. She has to have a certain characteristics. So what I wanted to do is just to portray, to tell the story in a more realistic way, I think.
You definitely did write a very hard, disciplined, unforgiving conqueror. Maybe not so unforgiving necessarily, but very, definitely very, very hard and cruel. As far as Gabrielle goes, what did you envision her part in this?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. What was your intent for the Gabrielle role? Because I think my perception was a bit different than what you probably intended.
No. Well, she is very submissive.
Right.
But in the other two stories that followed, her character is more developed, and she finds her own power, I think. And she learns that in their relationship, she is far from being powerless. So she might be more submissive in some areas of their relationship, some aspects of their relationship, but in others, she knows how to stand her ground when she needs to.
And I think you hint at that. You do show that in the first story. Definitely, there are times when, I think you make it pretty obvious that that you're trying to show that she does have some power in not only in the relationship but in the realm itself. Andy, did you wanna go?
He kind of touched on pretty much what I wanted to talk about as well. Let me ask you this: one of the things that stood out when I was reading this for the first time is the heavy hand that's played in the sexual violence in the beginning of the story, and I was wondering if you have received negative feedback from that.
Oh, well, yeah, I did. I actually had to block a few readers because they were sending me some very nasty emails, and I knew when I wrote it that I was going to get a backlash. And I knew that I would probably alienate a lot of potential readers, but I didn't care because, as I said before, my intention was to write something that was realistic, something that was consistent.
See, I'm one of those readers that was really put off by that, and I put the story down, not even 10% in, and told Andy I wasn't going to finish it because of the incredibly violent, torturous rape scenes that were in there.
Wasn't rape.
Yes, it actually was rape, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it was rape, because there was no consent given. And even though at the end, Gabrielle says, I would have given you consent, it wasn't in her power to do so. And even if she would have, the Conqueror wasn't looking for consent.
That's correct.
So technically it is rape. Whether you intended it to show the Conqueror's viciousness or what have you, or whether Gabrielle actually was enjoying it or whatever, it still stands that it was rape by definition. So, I see... Even though
the Conqueror owned... I'm just playing devil's advocate. Even though the Conqueror owned her as a possession?
Well, but I still don't think that I see what you're saying, but I think that's splitting hairs.
Yeah, I do too, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I think the thing even more than that like set my bullshit meter off the charts was that Gabrielle fell in love with Xena after like 6 years, 4 to 6 years of all the brutality. To me, it just smacked of Stockholm syndrome, really. But I mean, I see where you were going with it, and I think part of the problem that I ran across was that I was completely unable to connect on any emotional level with either character. And I don't know if that's because a lot of especially in the first half, it's almost solidly narration, which doesn't really allow for connecting with the characters themselves. It did get a lot. That aspect of it really was improved in the second half. There was a lot more dialogue, and you really got a chance to get into the heads of the characters. And I'm glad that I stuck with it.
For me to get in their heads. In the beginning, of course, it was very difficult to do so because a master and a slave won't just start a conversation. So I had to find other venues for them to talk about how they feel.
Right. I mean, and you could have done that maybe by having conversations with other characters, things like that. But instead, it just made it difficult to connect with them and to feel any emotion at all. Like we really had no idea what Gabrielle was thinking or feeling, or outside of pain and humiliation. And we really didn't have any way to know that Xena had any emotions whatsoever until later on. I mean, you developed that a lot better, a lot more for us to see later on.
Again, the Conqueror wouldn't talk about how she feels because she suppressed the fact that she's actually feeling, because she doesn't want to feel that way. That's why she's so violent, because Gabrielle makes her feel and she doesn't want to feel, so she thinks that if she's brutal towards her, then it would stop. And that she can't talk about it with other people because it would be perceived as a weakness, so she keeps it all inside. And Gabrielle is a slave, and nobody talks to a slave.
Well, could maybe there have been...
Nobody talks to Conqueror's slave.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but couldn't there have been... I mean, I'm not really a big proponent of internal dialogue, but, I mean, maybe that would have been maybe a little bit more internal dialogue in the beginning. Maybe, I mean, I can understand why you're trying to show the slave-master relationship and with the violence. What was that?
Being a body slave, any kind of type of slavery, I think even prostitution, I perceive as rape, because even prostitutes who receive payments for sexual favors, they don't do it with free consent. It's exploitation. Of course, it's exploitation. So, and being a slave is even beneath being a prostitute. So, of course, there's no consent at all. So, forced. But again, the way I chose to portray it was the realistic way. No art and fluff.
No, I absolutely agree with you 100%. I mean, it was very realistic. The thing that I had that was difficult for me was to understand or see until was to see how.
When you read it? When was the first time that you noticed it?
Noticed what?
The emotional connection.
Well, it was kind of like a switch was flipped when Gabrielle saved Xena's life, and then it was like it was so drastic and so immediate that I was like, oh well, it just. Then Xena went from like feeling nothing to, never speaking her name, never, really knowing what she was doing to, oh, well, maybe she loves me and I can, then the emotion started. And that's also when the dialogue started really picking up too. And that again, not just dialogue between Xena and Gabrielle, but dialogue between Gabrielle and Citrina, and dialogue between Xena and her soldiers and whatnot, that really allows us to see so much more.
Yeah.
But again, I thought that the Xena character wouldn't have confided in her troops.
But not necessarily confiding, but just having some conversations so that we could get more into who she really was, her showing us who she really was, rather than the narrator just telling us about different events and how they came to be. I mean, I think it's a I don't know. I just think that it's so much more difficult to it fleshes the character out a bit more. It allowed, and I didn't even talk to Andy about it, but for me, it made me feel like they were actual people instead of just words on the page.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but there's a big difference between the first half of the story and the second half of the story.
Yeah, it was almost like it was written in two different time periods.
Yeah. Like you wrote part of it and then put it down for a while and then came back with a different kind of methodology for writing. It was that right at that part in was that Persia?
Yep.
It really seemed to the style of writing itself kind of changed.
I actually didn't make any stuff in between different writing.
But I bet if you went back and looked at it, I think you might even see it, that there was a lot more narration in the first half and very few conversations between anyone. But I mean, I think you really did a very good job of showing the devotion that they have to each other once their relationship is established, and the way that you made sure to keep that relationship very private between them.
Yeah.
I liked that, and I thought that since the whole thing was you really striving to create a more authentic situation, a more authentic conqueror and queen, I think that worked really well. Even I was surprised that the princess was so unaware of her parents and how they came to be together, and I was surprised by that. But I mean, I understand. I think I understand to a degree anyway that and she didn't live there either, so maybe it was that helped to encourage them keeping that from her. But I don't see how they could have possibly kept it from her forever, since everybody in the court knew who Gabrielle was.
Yeah.
They knew, but then nobody would talk. Again, the atmosphere is one of the fear. People fear the Conqueror, so they mind their tongues. And I did it deliberately because, again, I've read other Conqueror stories, and this is not criticism, but I often thought that I read, for example, I'll give you an example. I read one story that has a soldier talking to the Conqueror, and he mentioned something about her sex life that she didn't approve of. It was very, and I thought, she cannot possibly command an army that doesn't show her respect.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make any sense. So,
but at a minimum, she would still have to talk to key people within her army. I mean, she would have to talk to her generals.
About business.
Well, no, I'll be out about business. I mean, nothing personal, I wouldn't think. Well, it depends on the kind of conqueror you got. I mean, I've read several different types, and sometimes, depending on how the author's formulated the story is, sometimes the conqueror can still show a little bit of her humanity and appreciation for some of her, higher-ranking soldiers by being a little bit more personal. Because, but, I mean, it works in some stories and not others.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you didn't read the other two stories. One is finished, and the other one is about to be finished. And I think that at the time progresses, I think that she does get more personal with other people, but you haven't read it, so...
No, not yet.
Yeah. She does have conversation about, even about personal stuff.
Okay. Well, I think it was like 500 pages long or some craziness on my iPad. I was like, holy crap, it's a long one. So I had to do quite a bit of reading.
The first one is about 240 pages, I think. The second one is about 200, and the third one, which I didn't expect, is over 300 already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I just want to I'm asking for a spoiler, I guess. So the princess, Xena seems to be molding her in her own image. Do we have to wait until the third one to see her take a crack at ruling, or does she not get to do that at all?
Yeah, she will get to do it. The third one.
Oh, I know one of the things I wanted to ask you, and you really don't go into it at all in the story, and I'm going to guess that you've gotten a lot of feedback about is the fact that Xena constantly is packing, and the princess later does also. So I wanted to know from you what your intent was, because I can almost guarantee I know what one of the criticisms has been. So can you tell us why you chose to have Xena always wear a strap-on?
Yeah, I try to portray her as very masculine. I think that in nowadays terms, she would probably be considered a stone butch. Again, it's a thing. It's a power thing. She's constantly she's constantly packing because that's a way for her to show power.
And I'm going to guess that you've gotten a lot of feedback, or maybe you haven't, but it was the first thing that came to my mind was that a woman can't be powerful without a penis. Is that what you're saying, that she would be less powerful without that penis?
That's what I'm saying. It's what she's thinking. It's what she's thinking.
Yeah, it's her perception, right?
Come again?
It's her perception of where the power with power.
Okay.
Yes.
That kind of struck me out, because I don't have a problem with women packing at all. I prefer it. That's fine.
Is that because you pack? Is that what you're saying?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I like it the other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not that that's TMI or anything. Just
no, not that. I enjoy being on the receiving end.
Oh, see what you learn. Have some more alcohol.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but I mean, I thought that was interesting because Xena has always been very powerful in her own right.
Yeah.
Without having to have that. And again, I don't have a problem with it, but as I was reading it, I just kept thinking to myself, "Oh, I bet there are some women that are really taking offense by that."
No, but some people, I think that misread, or maybe I wasn't clear enough, and they constantly ask me whether Xena was an hermaphrodite.
I think the reason why that may have come up, because I actually had to reread a few passages, because there was one in particular where she takes the strap-on out of the nightstand, I believe, and I'm fairly certain that she put it on, and then you have Gabrielle going down on her, where she's talking about, and then you describe her, her erect throbbing organ or something like that, which
liberty, but
yeah. So I mean, that gets a little confusing there. So
yeah. I think that probably did it on purpose.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of you just kind of drop the reader in without any explanation as to because there were several times when
I wanted to...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's you're breaking up.
Oh, okay. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, no. Yes.
Okay. There were just some, we didn't really get any real explanation about that. Not that you really need to give any explanation, but there were a few times where it was a little confusing as to which throbbing organ was being discussed.
I did purpose. I think it's baked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because again, I wanted to create a certain persona for the Conqueror, so that's why I did it.
Okay. Well, Andy, I've really dominated.
Oh, surprise! Where's your dildo? Are you
okay, I'm going to go on mute now.
Are you Are you packing? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so how about we go to the call?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is from Lyric.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
This is Lyric with a question for the Warrior Judge. Xena, as the Lord Conqueror of the realm, is unlike any other incarnation of the Conqueror character yet. And I believe that you have expressed her personality with more credibility probably than it's ever been written before. And I think that's truly groundbreaking. I'd like to know, what is your inspiration in creating the Lord Conqueror of the realm? It's certainly one that deviates very far from what readers might have expected or have read in the past. And in follow-up to that, I was wondering if you would discuss the exchange of power in the relationship between Gabrielle and her Lord. I'm thinking particularly about Gabrielle's own darkness and submissiveness, as well as the exchange of power that manifests in that relationship, not just in their bedroom, but even to the point where Xena actually referred to Gabrielle at one point as the sovereign of the realm. My second question: what has been the most meaningful praise that you have received for the Lord Conqueror of the realm and its sequels? And likewise, what is the criticism that has been most difficult?
I think that was it, right?
Okay. I think that it's pretty clear that Gabrielle holds a great power over Xena because she has the power to change Xena's mind. And I think that the best compliment that I have ever gotten is that it was a very realistic and a realistic portrayal. I think that some people wrote to me that they don't like the Conqueror, but they like the story. But they don't like the character, but they like the story. And I think it's the best compliment because that's what I was striving for, to write a story that was believable, that didn't make people roll up their eyes and say, all right. And the worst criticism that I got is that it lacks emotion, because I think it has a lot of emotion in it. What was the other question?
If there's going to be another sequel after Princess of the Realm.
Sorry?
If there's going to be more after the one that you're working on now.
No, it's going to be the end. I'm going to put them down, and hopefully they will stop off my head and move on to my other project.
That's something else I wanted to ask you. What else have you done? Other stuff? Because I'm not familiar with it, so I apologize. But have you done other stuff, or is this the first thing that you've done?
No, I have a very early writing period, which I started when Warrior Princess was still on. But I don't like these stories because I think they were badly written. And I was very young back then, so I think that I lacked the maturity that I have today. So
yeah, there were a few stories I looked over on Academy of Bards Yeah. You got several out there.
Yes, I do.
Ooh, nuns.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I might be reading that tonight.
I like nuns.
The late L.J. Mass, by the way, said that the love scene in that particular story, I think, conversion. She said it was one of the most beautiful she's ever read. So I'm very proud of it.
Oh wow,
Wonderful.
L.J. Mass said that.
And we'll be sure to. I'll put a link in the show notes so everybody can go check out Warrior Judge's work.
Also, I did. I was a part of a writing group with Kate Culpepper and Jim McKnight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Yahoo group that is called the Sin Trade Inn. Probably heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And done some writing also within the group. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Cool. What you got, Andy?
I think we've covered it all.
I'm spent.
I know, right? I'm worn the hell out.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about, Warrior Judge?
No. Unless you have more questions.
Well, what are you going to challenge yourself with and write next? Like what like your wish list. What have you got? What are you juggling for the future?
I just want to finish Prince of the Realm first, and then start researching some stuff that I have to for my next story, and that's it, I think, in terms of writing.
Yeah, but you're not going to give us a clue what your next story is going to be?
Oh, it's going to be a rewrite, actually, for something that I've already begun a few years ago. But I think that I was very inexperienced and immature back then. So it was a very successful story, Judicial Love. So and it got a lot of great reviews and was and I didn't finish it. I never finished it. And people to this day still are sending me emails asking me to finish it. So I'm going to rewrite it and finish it.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, excellent. Nancy Jean, you got anything you want to throw in there?
I do. I just want to have a chance to tell Warrior Judge a couple of things about what I have loved about the stories. One of the things I love about the 3 stories is that they all have a slightly different tone and theme. The second one is a mystery, and I loved it that I couldn't figure it out. I was just going along like, who did it? Who killed them? As well as starting to watch. Well, there was another guest on the podcast who once said she didn't like doing sequels because you can only have the fall in love once, and then you have to do something to tear them apart in order to do a sequel. And that's sort of what happens in Queen of the Realm, where there are difficulties between the Conqueror and Gabrielle, and you do watch Gabrielle. You get to experience Gabrielle coming into her own. In a way, I think, Sherry, is what you missed in the story. Like a lot of what you were looking for, I definitely felt and had that connection, and got very angry and furious at the Conqueror, and yet was like, oh, I can't tell the Conqueror that because she'd kill me. And then the third one, there was also conflict, but you also really, really get to see Athena, who is not a carbon copy of the Conqueror, and is very different, and also has a lot of daddy issues with the Conqueror. And there's another, the sort of Athena's love story, relationships kind of thing going on. So, all 3 of these I've just loved, and I just want to tell you, Warrior Judge, that just how much I enjoy your writing.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm now muting myself again.
It's like a drive-by comment. That's fantastic. Oh, my goodness. This has been a really good show, I think.
It has.
Yeah. And I think now it's time to announce our next giveaway. What do you think?
I think that'd be fine.
Right.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about, Dee?
Just want to thank. No, just say thank you once more to Nancy, which has been. She's a goddess. I'm sure you all know.
No, she's fantastic.
We love her a lot.
We do.
Me too.
So was it bad? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So since we don't have any books to give away, and we've gotten our donation, we've had a few folks that have really kicked in and helped out with the donations. We've got some money in the bank for gifts, for giveaways.
Yay!
So, Andy, you want to tell them what they can win?
It's like, oh, Don Pardo, tell them what they can win.
Behind door number one.
Behind door number one, we are looking. I have to pull it back up again. Damn it!
I have it written down. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Because I didn't realize you're going to do that, so I closed out our little swag store. I know we're looking at doing either a field bag behind door number one, which is one of the things we put up for auction at GCLS, and everybody liked that field bag. I didn't hear any negative comments about that field bag. And I do believe Nancy Jean won that field bag. You can unmute yourself now.
Oh, she's typing. Yes!
Oh.
Exclamation point. We did the field bag and a cocktail shaker.
And we did a cocktail shaker, that's right. And then behind door number two is a cinch sack, which is loosely, it's kind of like a loose version of a backpack, but it's not all that in a bag.
You cinch it.
You cinch it. It's a cinch sack. I can't stand the word sack. I don't know why. I'm just throwing that out there, people. Just awesome. Not real wild about that word.
Do you remember what the third one was?
Don't tell me. The third one is... Damn it. No, tell me. What's door number? Oh, the tote bag?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So, that's right. Door number 3 is a tote bag, which is kind of like, one of those nice, large, open, kind of reusable grocery bag, but heavier duty.
Yeah, and I'll put links to all three of them so what you need to do is leave a comment letting us know which one of the bags you want and also why you love us so much.
Yeah, there you go, because we love praise just as much as our authors do.
We do. Feed us.
Feed
the
damn
birds, but then also feed us.
That's right.
We're hungry.
You know what? Throw us a bone every once in a while.
All right, so make sure to leave your comment no later than August 9th. August 9th.
Wow, that's just around the corner. Isn't that scary? Holy crap. I can't believe how much time is flying. Before we know we're going to have our third-year anniversary. Jesus.
It's almost. It's almost. So we've got, on our next show, we have Sandra Moran coming on, who we got to meet at GCLS, and I think I have like a little... Nikki's gonna laugh really hard right now because I have like a little crush on Sandra Moran.
I thought you had a crush on Beth Burnett.
Well, I love Beth.
Oh my God, what is it? What is going on with you?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ready to hit menopause sometime in the next year or so. I'm just kind of my hormones are ramping up. I don't know.
That's fantastic.
But Sandra, there's something about her. She's tall and just kind of cute.
Yeah, she is cute.
And she's really funny.
And she's funny.
Yeah. And I think she's really smart, too.
Yeah. I got that impression.
Yeah. So, but I haven't read her book yet. Nikki's read it and assures me that it's wonderful.
Oh, good.
But I think there's like flashbacky things in there. So you just be prepared.
Oh, I hate flashbacky things.
I know you do.
God damn it.
Okay, so Sandra Moran's going to be on our next show, and I can't remember the name of her book. Letters Never Sent,
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Then, so make sure you get your comments in. Let us know which one of the bags you want. If you want, I can just contact you later, too. But the most important thing is why you love us so much.
Yeah, right. That's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. And we've got a lot of good shows coming up, too.
We've
got Jay coming on at the end of the month.
We do.
Our anniversary show. Didn't you just book somebody else for September?
I did. We've got, this is the order they're coming in. Jay, anniversary show, Barbara Ann Wright.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I wonder if she would do a trailer for our show.
Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I think you got more clout than I do in her direction, so
yeah, I'm going to ask
work on that, would you? Then Susan Maher again. One of our favorites. Susan's coming on. Yes, she is. October 5th.
To talk about what?
Whatever her newest is.
Is she going to have a new one out?
I'm going to find out.
All right, then. Oh, maybe it's the reunion.
I don't know. I got to tell you right now, I'm not going to tell her she can't come on. Yeah, let's just put that out there right now. And then after her is Rachel Spangler. And
she
Rachel
just kind of got herself right on there, didn't she?
She is just a pushy broad. I love that. So yeah, she's coming on live from P-Town. So she's going to give us a little preview and sneak show and a circle around and a summary of what the hell's been happening in P-Town since we're not there.
Wasn't she at P-Town the last time we talked to her?
Absolutely.
I thought so.
Yep. And you know what's really interesting? Her birthday will be the next day. So we're going to have to find some way to, give her some business when she goes on the show.
Well, I mean, really, what better birthday present could she have than be with us?
I know, that's true, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's enough sneak preview. We got other stuff lined up, but we're going to save that for later.
Yeah. Woo! Well, we said 2013 was the year of... I almost said the year of the clam.
Well, it's not right.
But it's not. This is the year of cocktail hour.
The year of cocktail hour. All right, well, thank you, Warrior Judge, for coming on. You are the bomb, sister. The bomb diggity.
Thank you very much.
Keep writing.
Keep writing.
And say fuck it to people that don't like it.
That's right. And you know what? I hope you take my criticisms in the manner in which I offer them. I did enjoy aspects of your story, and I totally got what you were going for, and the changes that I saw from the first half to the second half only make me think that the rest of the series is just continuing to get better and better. So rock on. And I know lots of people who absolutely love your stories.
Yep, me too.
Thank you.
All right.
And I'm a cold-hearted bitch, and everybody knows
stop. You're so full of crap. Nancy Jean. Yeah, have some more of your bloody Ceasar.
I'm almost done.
Oh, my God. Nancy Jean, thank you for lurking and putting your 2 cents in. We appreciate that, too.
Lurk.
And also, since Nancy Jean is here, I just want to take just a minute to Nancy. I want to tell you how much it means to Andy and I, and Nikki and Bev, also all the work that you put in behind the scenes for us. Making all those pins and always looking out for us and doing things and making contact. All this stuff that you do, we really, really appreciate it, and we want to acknowledge that publicly, that we appreciate everything that you do, and you're awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, thank you, and I know I've said this many times before, but I would not be reading fanfic or The Conqueror or doing beta reading or any of that except for the cocktail hour, because I discovered fanfic through the cocktail hour. So it'll always be about y'all and give it back to y'all, because you just changed the way I entertain myself.
Sweet.
So, go Sherry and the Rev.
Woo! Sherry is the Rev. You mean...
Not you, Andy. It's all me.
Oh, that ain't right.
Nancy Jean.
Okay, I feel left out now.
I love you in your chair with the special buzzing things.
Oh, thank you. I'm not even going to go back over what that comment's about for you.
No. They can go listen to back episodes.
That's right. Y'all have to go digging, mining through the old episodes to figure that one out.
Well, Andy goes mining through her chair. Thank you, Dee, for coming on.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.